250,000 people are in Washington for the inauguration. But for those unable to get there, the Universal Newsreel is rushing pictures of the epic ceremony by the fastest air express plane in the country. The speedy plane takes off and soars over the national capital, even while President Roosevelt is still on the inaugural stand. At 230 miles an hour, the record-breaking air express whisks its historic freight to the screen, arriving at New York while newspaper wires are still hot with the story of the great event, and while the radio still roars with acclamations for the new president. At the airport, a fast car with police escort is waiting, and the film is transferred almost as soon as the plane touches the ground. No bet is overlooked in the race against time to serve the newsreel public, and the Universal Newsreel is establishing a record for speed. Here they come, on the last lap. And here it is, the beginning of the greatest drama in American affairs, the creation of a new chief executive. According to time-honored custom, the retiring president and the president-elect ride together from the White House with congressional escort down the long and crowd-packed Pennsylvania Avenue to the Capitol, where Roosevelt is to take the oath of office. Enthusiasm is at its height. Never was there such a joyful, jubilant, yelling, applauding inauguration crowd. Roosevelt is the nation's idol here today. Thousands of Americans are here to cheer the birth of a new era in national affairs, a New Deal era, which is supposed to pull the country out of its chaos. The hosts of democracy are here to celebrate the greatest party victory of all time. And now everything is ready for the big moment. Chief Justice Hughes of the United States Supreme Court prepares to administer the oath of office to Franklin D. Roosevelt, making him the 52nd president.
You, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, do solemnly swear that you will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will, to the best of your ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. So help you God. I, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. So help me God. This is a day of national consecration, and I am certain that on this day my fellow Americans expect that on my induction into the presidency I will address them with a candor and a decision which the present situation of our people impels. I am prepared, under my constitutional duty, to recommend the measures that a stricken nation in the midst of a stricken world may require. These measures, or such other measures as the Congress may build out of its experience and wisdom, I shall seek within my constitutional authority to bring to speedy adoption. But in the event that the Congress shall fail to take one of these two courses, in the event that the national emergency is still critical, I shall not evade the clear course of duty that will then confront me. I shall ask the Congress for the one remaining instrument to meet the crisis: broad executive power to wage a war against the emergency as great as the power that would be given to me if we were in fact invaded by a foreign foe. This nation is asking for action, and action now. In this dedication of a nation, we humbly ask the blessing of God. May He protect each and every one of us. May He guide me in the days to come.
More power to you, President Roosevelt. The entire country's behind you, thrilled with hope and patriotism.
Is bringing in Maxim M. Litvinov, Soviet Commissar of Foreign Affairs.
I am looking forward to the great pleasure and honor of making the acquaintance of your illustrious President, who is giving yet another proof of his wisdom and broad views by taking the initiative in addressing Mr. Kalinin. I shall also be extremely glad to renew my acquaintance with your Secretary of State, Mr. Cordell Howe, whom I had the great pleasure of meeting at the London International Conference.
The Russian envoy is met by representatives of the State Department and transferred from the Berengaria to a government tug, which speeds him to the Jersey City Railroad terminal, where a fast train is waiting to whisk him to Washington. It's a momentous visit, the first official one from Russia in 16 years. America, which turned him down in 1918, is welcoming Mr. Litvinov, this time with great ceremony. In Washington, he is met at the station by Cordell Hull, Secretary of State, and other dignitaries. It's a significant meeting, and a veritable army of reporters and cameramen are here to record it. President Roosevelt has sent his personal automobile down for Mr. Litvinov's use, as well as a fleet of motorcycle cops. The ensuing conference at the White House and with the State Department are expected to result in formal recognition of Russia within a few.
Congress is about to pass legislation that will greatly ease the mortgage distress among the farmers and among the homeowners of the nation by providing for the easing of the burden of debt that now bears so heavily upon millions of our people. Well-considered and conservative measures will likewise be proposed within a few days that will attempt to give to the industrial workers of the country a more fair wage return, to prevent cutthroat competition, to prevent unduly long hours for labor, but at the same time to encourage each industry to prevent overproduction. I have no expectation of making a hit every time I combat. What I seek is the highest possible batting average, not only for myself, but for the team. Theodore Roosevelt once said to me, if I can be right 75% of the time, I shall come up to the fullest measure of my hopes. You, the people of this country, all of us in Washington, the members of the Congress and the members of this administration, owe a profound debt of gratitude. Throughout the Depression, you have been patient. You have granted us wide powers. You have encouraged us with a widespread approval of our purposes. Every ounce of strength, every resource at our command, we have devoted and we are devoting to the end of justifying your confidence. We are encouraged to believe that a wise and sensible beginning has been made. In the present spirit, of mutual confidence, in the present spirit of mutual encouragement, we go forward.
Virginia. Inspiring his forest army by a personal visit, President Roosevelt makes his first tour of the Civilian Conservation Corps camps in the Shenandoah Valley. After inspecting Skyland, the Commander-in-Chief takes a seat at the head of the table to eat with the boys, and he enjoys every bite of the plain, wholesome food furnished at the camp.
It's very good to be here at these Virginia CCC camps. I wish I could see them all over the country. I hope that all over the country they're in as fine condition as the camps that I've seen today. I wish that I could take a couple of months off from the White House and come down here and live with them, because I know I'd get full of health the way they have. The only difference is that they've put on an average of about 12 pounds apiece since they got here, and I'm trying to take off 12 pounds.
Your Eminence, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, the spirit of our people has not been blunted. It has not been daunted. It has come through the trials of these days unafraid. We've ventured and we've won. And we shall venture further, and we shall win again. Always I have been certain that we would conquer, because the spirit of America springs from faith. Faith in the beloved institutions of our land, and a true and abiding faith in the divine guidance of God.
It is 3 months, my friends, since I have talked to the people of this country about our national problems. But during this period, many things have happened, and I am glad to say that the major part of them have greatly helped the well-being of the average citizen. In the short space of these few months, I am convinced that at least 4 million have been given employment, or saying it another way, 40% of those seeking work have found it. That does not mean, my friends, that I am satisfied or that you are satisfied that our work is ended. We have a long way to go, but we are on the way. We come to the relief, for a moment, of those who are in danger of losing their farms or their homes. I have publicly asked that the foreclosure on farms and chattels and homes be delayed until every mortgagor in the country has had full opportunity to take advantage of federal credit. And I make the further request that if there is any family in the United States about to lose its home or its farm, that family should telegraph at once, either to the Farm Credit Administration or the Home Loan Corporation in Washington, requesting their help. I do not hesitate to say that although the prices of many products of the farm have gone up, and although many farm families are better off than they were last year, I am not satisfied. It is definitely a part of our policy to increase the rise and to extend it to those products that have as yet felt no benefit. If we cannot do this one way, we will do it another. But do it, we will. When we have restored the price level, we shall seek to establish and maintain a dollar which will not change its purchasing and debt-paying power during the succeeding generation. I said that in my message to the American delegation in London last July, and I say it now once more. Our dollar is now altogether too much influenced by the internal policies of other nations. Therefore, the United States must take firmly in its own hands the control of the gold value of our dollar. And as a further effective means to that end, I am going to establish a government market for gold in the United States. Therefore, under the clearly defined authority of existing law, I am authorizing the Reconstruction Finance Corporation to buy or sell gold at prices to be determined from time to time after consultation with the Secretary of the Treasury and the President. This is a policy and not a mere expedient. I have told you the story of our steady but sure work in building our common recovery. In my promises to you, both before and after March 4th, I made two things plain. First, that I pledged no miracles, and second, that I would do my best. I thank you for your faith. Our troubles will not be over tomorrow, but we are on our way, and we are headed in the right direction.